Hello. Welcome to Plan Path Podcast, your choice hub for book reviews and crucial conversations. How are you guys doing? How are you? Tell us in the comments. What's up with you? I had a wonderful week. A little bit tired at some point. The NEPA thing was really annoying, disturbed my work. But I'm back to my grind. How are you? Tell me in the comments. Okay, so today, since we are using the new old national anthem, is old new national anthem. What I'm just basically trying to say is that these are old national anthem, but it is now our new national anthem. Since that's what we're using now, we decided here at Plan Path Podcast to say, you know what? Let's talk about Nigeria in general. Let's talk about Nigerian education. Let's review Nigerian education since we are now back to our old national anthem. And really, for some people on this podcast right now, they are like, this is a no-brainer. Tosin, why are you even talking about a topic like this? Obviously, Canadian education is better. But no, I beg to differ, actually. One of the broad goals of education is actually to develop your mind and train you to think. Not that you just accept something that is said to you. You're supposed to take things through logical processes, you understand? So, and that is why we will talk about this topic and review Nigeria and Canadians' education, and just come to our own conclusion regarding what is obtainable. So yes, today we are going to be discussing this topic. This is actually a great place to start, really. I say this because I posted something on my WhatsApp yesterday. My WhatsApp status that generated a lot of comments, feedbacks, and reactions from people. And let me actually read it for you. A certain Movivant tweeted, she said, if you schooled in Nigeria, please try to re-educate yourself. Take courses, watch Ivy League professors on YouTube, read wide because you most likely have a comprehension and analysis problem. Very, very true, actually, very correct. And by the way, it actually seems that this person schooled in Nigeria because I had a headache while trying to read out our tweets. Our punctuationing was really bad, and I actually had a comprehension problem while trying to comprehend what she was trying to say. Okay, really. By the way, really, really, that's something to work on. Please. There are people that when they send you text messages, you usually have a headache trying to understand them. I've told some people that they should just stop typing to me, please. Just, send me a voice note. I can do with that. Send Yoruba self. Send Hausa. I can understand. Okay, all right. So, anyways, generally our education system in Nigeria seems to be rigorous as in tough. It prepares you to be tough, but then it is void of quality. Or don't let me say void of quality. Let me say the quality of our education is very low in my opinion, because Nigerians are tough people, really. They also impose secondary school institutions, that's like colleges of education, polytechnics, universities, you understand, technical colleges and everything. They make you really strong and fit, in my opinion. They make you really strong and fit. You're hustling for space in class. You're hustling to even get a handout, to even buy lecture notes, for light to charge your phone. You're not really getting funds at home. You're struggling for accommodation. It's a lot on the average person. So and even for people in science courses, environmental science, pure sciences, engineering courses, you see that a lot of people are doing their work with little or no practical. In fact, some computer science students will finish school without actually looking at a computer. Some people do computer science and they didn't even learn basic Python in school, you understand. So that means that when a lot of Nigerians get to systems that actually work, where these resources are available, you've been doing it without machines and, in a system that doesn't really work, you understand? And you get to a system that works, and you're like, come on, I can do this. Like, for instance, now you see a lot of doctors and nurses, things that they're supposed to do with instruments, like machines and everything, they just try to do it manually, make things work somehow. Also for drugs for patients, from the pharmacy and all of that. Imagine those people get into a system that will come on, they just become high flyers, sharp, like effortlessly. And that's something that Canadian education seems to lack really, because everything is easy peasy. I mean, the kids are not supposed to even start writing at 25, things like that. You grab and you and that's really a difference. That's something different in both education systems. But don't be too quick to think that because you went through the Nigerian education system, you're better than them, the Canadians, because what they seem to lack in physical strength that you have, in physical dexterity, being able to survive under any kind of atmosphere, they seem to make up for it with their, what they call it, with their intellectual skills, brain power, problem solving, creative thinking, and innovation. You understand? Because if you really look at it, people that actually do things that move the ball forward in modern civilization, a lot of them are actually people that schooled in those kind of climes. You understand? Like, I'm not saying, because in Nigeria you see a lot of startup founders, I'm innovating this, I'm doing this, but how many of them are doing things that people can pay for, ready to go things like the average people can pay for, things that can scale, things like Facebook, like AI, ChatGPT, you understand? How many Nigerians do those things? So you got to give it to Canadians that their thinking process, sharp, osigbo, they are doing very well with that. And for them to have that, it means that the education system is relevant to today's society, understand, and it continues to evolve. That's something we don't have in Nigeria, really, if you'd ask me, because our education system seems to be filled with lots of archaic information. What is this? Define this, state this. I mean, like, as a teacher, I would always say, like, always, even if you are found in that archaic system, that it just seems like everything is so rigid and everything, always add something to your work, to a subtopic to every topic you teach. Application of dash to everyday life. Application of tradition of forms of communication in everyday life. And this podcast is brought to you by Planned Path Podcast, your Planned Path educational consult rather. You understand? And Planned Path Educational Consult is committed to teacher training, mental health training, school growth consulting, and everything that actually moves the ball forward in education, in empowering teachers, and to reduce inequalities. That's what we do at Planned Path. And at our teacher trainings, we always say, as a teacher, you understand, one thing you should be doing in 2024 is that you should not just give your students assignments, homework, and say list 3 means of communication, list 3 popular sports in the world. You understand? List 10 popular sports in the world. Don't just say that. That's low order reasoning. That's low level thinking. That's stating knowledge, stating recall and everything. Recall, list. That's how it is there. But you need to go for high order thinking. Even if it's primary school, there's a way you can construct it that the children will be able to understand, relate to it, and they don't even need an adult to help them do the work. You can say something like evaluate, or you can say what is the impact of the top popular sports in the world in your family. And the kids will say something like, my dad is always watching ball. I cannot watch cartoon when my dad is doing this. I now know about Serena Williams because tennis is a popular sport. That's what I'm saying. They just are able to think through what they've learned, not just remember. You understand? They're not just remembering. They are thinking through what they learned. And that's very, very important in education, you understand? And this is really your cue to invite Planned Path Podcast, Planned Path Consult, to your next school training. You understand? Invite Planned Path Consult to your next school training. Call us on 08063466173 or mail plannedpathc@gmail.com. We'll be really, 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 really willing to have a conversation with your school, your child's school, and let's do a training for their teachers, and you'll be glad you invested in that for your child's school. Remember, this is Planned Path Podcast, and we are going on a short commercial break. We'll be right back.
when they try to colonize us for this Africa, we never benefit from any of those countries. You and I know say the country where we dey benefit from as Nigeria youth, now Canada.
Okay, welcome back to Plant Path Podcast, your choice hub for book reviews and crucial conversations. Today we're evaluating Nigeria versus Canada, government's investment in education. This is brought to you by Plant Path Educational Consult, your choice hub, your choice company for teacher training, mental health training, school growth consulting. And by now, I think you should be able to contact us now. It's 00634661773 PLANNEDPATHC@gmail.com. That is plantpathc@gmail.com. Just reach out to us and let's come and do a school training for you. Tell your head teacher to reach out to us or collect our number and call us. You understand? It should be really nice for your kids. Let's do something exciting for your teachers, even as the new session is resuming. So we're talking about Nigeria versus Canada, really. And another thing that strikes me is that Canadian government has well-written plan for education. Like every province, and I've actually read about 5 provinces plan for education, and they do it periodically. You understand? And they are simple, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound plans. Nothing complex really, not too much, not too long and everything. They're easy to read, and the government actually allocates resources to these goals, you understand, to aid their attainment, their achievement. And for Nigeria, aside the national policy on education, by the way, while I was doing my postgraduate diploma in education, that was 2015. I think this was now 2016. We're asked to go and buy national policy on education. We just saw the 2004 edition. We didn't even see 2011. It was so bad that we're even telling them. We went to NERDC, Nigerian Education Resources Development Center, or something, if I remember. NERDC office in Java. I remember really going there, and they're like, even the NERDC does not have printed copies of the 2011 policy. Where can we download? We didn't get. It was only the 2004 policy that we bought. I still have copies of it at home, by the way. And so that's something. In Nigeria, we don't have our policy of education well written out. You understand? Even what we have as a country is so large, it's so muddled up, it's so archaic. You understand? I wish that Nigerian government can actually listen to me and a lot of professionals in education and say, you know what, we know how to do this thing. We know how to collaborate. We don't have to spend so much administrative money, you understand, in trying to put our policy of education together. We know how to put it together in a way that will be accessible to everybody, you understand? And it doesn't have to be too long. Let's still be, you understand, maybe every year, every two years, we look at it and look again, you understand? And I must also mention that JAM has an education plan, and that's actually quite comprehensive. And you can see that JAM is actually quite serious. I don't know, maybe because JAM generates money. I don't know. It's an agency of government, but I've seen JAM policy, and I've read it. I even have it on this laptop. I have it on my laptop here. So our education goals need to be broken down into, you understand, smaller goals and everything. And because of the way Nigeria is, the pace of education in Lagos is not the same thing as even Ogun that is just beside it, or even Oyo, or even not even think of Kano or Plateau or Tarab or Port Harcourt. So I really think what Canada has been able to employ, in the sense of what Canada has been able to employ, in the sense of what they call it, in the sense of having different provinces having their own policy on education. We should go back to it in Nigeria, even if it's not each state, you understand, even if it's every region, you understand, should have I like this regional government thinking, really, regional policing, regional education, so that everybody can do what works for their own context, you understand. There are some states in Lagos in Nigeria that I must really commend. Like Lagos State seems to be very invested in education. But actually, one thing that actually amazes me about Lagos is that even though Lagos is very committed to education, you would also see that the number of out-of-school children in Lagos just keeps increasing by day, and it now makes it look like Lagos is not doing anything. But I think one thing that is even responsible for Lagos State's own is the fact that the immigration rate is really high. The migration rate is high. It's like one so you have a lot of out of school children in Lagos, although Lagos is actually well invested in education. And I already told you a possible reason for that. There is Kwara Learn, I think it's Edo Learn as well. I'm not sure what Oyo State is doing with respect to education. So these are people that I've seen that they actually are doing well with education in their state. But I must also mention that I think that there are other states that will be well invested in education, like Ekiti State. You only say Ekiti people are well-read people and all of that. They may just not have great PR like the way Lagos State does, you understand? And then some northern states, you understand? Before, when I was growing up, northern states used to have free education. It was like a thing in the north, free education for all. But it's so disappointing now that some governors that even went to school with this free education, they are now telling us that they want to scrap education, free education, which is honestly not fair. Honestly, it doesn't make any sense at all, really. It doesn't make any sense. And investment in education in Nigeria seems to be dependent on the person in power. Yes, so it feels like it is a Tinubu thing, a Fashola thing, an Ambode thing, a Sanwo-Olu thing, a Kwankwaso thing, an Ajumobi thing, a Seyi Makinde thing, a Wike thing, what they call it. It just seems to be dependent on the government in power, which is not supposed to be so. Life is transient. People come and go, governments come and go. But if we actually do our thing as national, but not that one person will start this thing, another person will come, will stop it, scrap it, and start their own. No, let's have a systems thinking towards education, so that we can plan for education as a people, not as a specific government. That's what I'm trying to say. That's very, very important. I also like the fact that Canadian education. Let me go on a short break so I can drink some water. Always drink water. Welcome back from my water break. I hope you drink water, Sha. I hope you drink water all the time. Okay, so I was saying that I like the fact that Canadian education emphasizes lifelong learning. I mean, as you Google, it says that Canadian education is invested in ensuring that all Canadians receive inclusive quality education throughout their lives. Lifelong learning. In Nigeria, our education seems to be education system based, like he's not like school based, structured into school. But Canada is saying lifelong, you understand? It doesn't have to be proper school structure, you understand? Because in Nigeria, it's mostly like what we always say, 6 years of primary school that a lot of children don't finish, which I think that we should stop skipping primary 6, please. 6 years of primary school, 3 years of junior secondary school, 3 years of senior secondary school, 4 years university. But now I think it's called 1 year of what they call it, pre-primary school, or 2 years, it depends. 9 years of basic education, that's primary and junior secondary school, senior secondary school, and then university. That's the way Nigerian education is. But as Nigerians, it's important, I will tell you as an educator, it's important that we view education as a lifelong learning thing, that it doesn't end when you graduate. Some people will graduate and the next thing they'll say is that pen drop. That's like they've dropped pen all through their life. You understand? Some people will even say, as I finish school like this, before I go back to book, before I open any book, it's not supposed to be. So let's view education as a lifelong learning thing. Very, very important, because with this mindset, even after you have kids, learning continues. Even after you're 40, learning continues. Even after you finish even with first class with your law, with your architecture and everything, and your accountant, you realize that this is not really me, this is not what I want to do, this is not bringing me money, you can just dust yourself up and go and learn again, learn something new, learn something that is relevant in the world, and so learn something that can actually feed you. So very important that we view learning as a lifelong learning thing, the way Canadians view change stand. Very, very important. Because the reason I even said this, because Pastor Pojo Imade, my pastor, He's also known as DJ Pope. I like to call him DJ Pope. So if you hear me say DJ Pope at any point in time, you know I'm referring to Possible Joey Madi. So DJ Pope usually says that Nigerians abroad succeed because they develop a lifelong learning perspective and they are willing to pick up any job, learn anything, you understand, just to do well. So I think that's a critical element of success. You was willing to learn all through your life if you're going to be successful. Embrace lifelong learning, and very importantly, you should be able to be willing to learn. Very, very important. Nigerians, we ought to really focus on skills and not certificates. Like, our certificates are a proof of our skills, and our skills validate our certificates. So they work hand in hand. The reason a lot of Nigerians are actually depressed these days are young people that just finished doing a tech course and they're not happy. They're like beefing techies because they just try to finish the course, copied everything, and they have finished the course. They are expecting to get a job, and you get to an interview. If you maybe have a nice CV and you package well, you get to the technical interview. They are asking you questions, and you're not able to answer. You understand? And that's not how to really live life. Like that's a life full of with regret, and you won't be very happy if you adopt that mindset. So please, let's focus on skills, not just certifications. And second to the last, not lastly. I've had the opportunity to actually relate with a lot of Nigerian students that are abroad, you understand? Like, even people that they have kids, primary school kids, secondary school, university, understand? Like, at different ages, even postgraduate students in Nigeria and Canada. And I see that a lot of this Canadian education system and the way they structure their work, they structure it in a way that there's emphasis on teamwork and collaboration, and everybody in the team actually gets to do something. Not the one that happens in Nigeria that they will give group work and it's only one or two people that will work. Oh, that will not fly in Canada at all. Like, everybody, you must partake in the work that is going on, you understand? And that even helps them, even when they graduate, they're able to work in teams and do well. One woman on one of those mom pages that I follow online, the woman was like, that she got a job, a remote job online. She'll be praying for it and everything. And after 2 weeks, they sacked her. They told her that she's not a good team member. She doesn't collaborate well. She doesn't communicate with her team lead what she's doing and everything. Ordinary email, in meetings, she doesn't talk. Yes, and that's collaboration. Those are things that we need to learn as Nigerians. And lastly, we need to round up. Lastly is accent. I understand that you want your child to speak well. You understand, like, maybe speak well, which is good, because for me, one of my goals for the year is to ensure that I'm pronouncing my words so clearly, so that when I upload my videos, you understand, or my voiceovers, and autocorrect, you understand, there's auto translate, is bringing out the text of my word. I'm not saying A and B is what is being translated, you understand? That's something I'm working on, and something for me, my goals are usually very simple, easy, and just to improve my life. No competition. So don't think that because don't try to make your child speak in a fake American accent or a British accent. No. Like, the way Joke Silva speaks, she doesn't try to sound like someone else, but she speaks well as a Nigerian. Have you heard Mariah Folabi Brown, Tokwe Michael Dige, Akashat Nimat? Like, have you heard her? Have you heard even this new Muslim lady, Rama Shehu? Like, have you heard her? Have you heard Adebola Adeduba? Have you heard her? Like, Debola is my friend. She works she used to work with Inla. She's working with New Central TV now. Have you heard her? She speaks so well, man. So that's the thing. So don't think that because a child is speaking one fake British accent, the child is now well educated and better than us now. Because in fact, these days I was talking with my friend Eze, and Eze were like, man, the quality of education now is so bad. Like, the way student, why just finish? You don't want to even hear the things that I saw. This the way people are copying, and like, no, like, you understand, you even report to some WAEC officials and they don't even take you serious a lot of times. So really, honestly, our system of education is getting poorer. The quality of education some of us received in public schools is not even as obtainable in some private schools these days, you understand? So it's something to pay attention to, our quality of education, and really hold our government accountable You understand? So you will not just come online and be standing rubbish. You've listened to this episode. You can see what's up in other countries, and you can hold your civil servants and your government officials and say, you know what, you guys should do better for us. You grab what I'm trying to say. Please make sure you are just like holding your government officials accountable for things that they're supposed to be doing for you. You understand? Thank you for listening to this episode. It was really nice talking to you, and I really want to hear in the comments, based on what you've heard, based on your own personal education, your own personal experiences, your own recommendations, your own thoughts. Rate Nigerian education and Canadian education between 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest and 10 being the highest. Let's know. Thank you so much. End of podcast episode. Draws cutting. Okay, all right. See you in the next episode. Make sure you share this podcast. Like, you have enjoyed such a rich time. Let me give you an hint. My note for this podcast episode was handwritten with my pencil, like I love to do, and it is 9 pages. It's something I wrote down based on my research, my thoughts, and everything. So this is a very rich podcast. It's a safe space for you. It's intellectual. It's nice. It's funny. It's educating. You can always fall back on it to even for your professional development. So this is a podcast you share with someone else. That's what I'm saying. Share it. Listen to other book reviews. Very importantly, it's here, like I was told by a production team, that if you actually have a book you want us to review, send that book to us on plannedpathc@gmail.com. plannedpathc@gmail.com. Mail that book to us, and we'll be glad to consider reviewing it in shortly. Really, very nice to have this episode with you. Enjoy other episodes. My name is Oluwatosin. I love education. As you can see, make sure you both me for your keynote sessions, your panel discussion on topical issues in education. I'll be glad to do it. It's not free, but shall come. All right. So this is Planned Path podcast, your choice hub for book reviews and crucial conversation. And this episode was sponsored by Planned Path Consult, Educational Consult, your choice hub for education, teacher trainings, mental health training, school growth consulting, instructional designing, and everything that actually adds to the bulk of education, teacher, improving the well-being of teachers, empowering teachers, and reducing inequalities in our society. Take care of yourself. Bye.
When they try to colonize us for this Africa, we never benefit from any of those countries. You and I know say the country where we dey benefit from as Nigeria youth. Now Canada. Canada.